Well, I mentioned in an earlier video that the majority of the book of Job is Job and his friends going back and forth with one another. Job gives his opening statement there in chapter 3, and then we see three series of speeches. The first series is in chapters 4 through 14. Second series is in chapter 15 through 22. The third round of speeches is in chapter 23 through 27. Job gives his final claim there about his life in chapters 28 through 31. And then another guy that had been listening to Job and his three friends' conversation by the name of Elihu, he speaks in chapters 32 through 37 before the Lord speaks. And so Job's friends, they are convinced that Job has some type of grievous sin in his life. He has sinned so greatly. And the reason is because in their thinking that bad things only happen to bad people and good things only happen to good people. And you know, this thinking is wrong. And it is a problem that still exists today. One of the examples of that is the prosperity gospel that says God doesn't want anything for you to be but healthy, wealthy, and successful. I don't see that in my word. You know, the book of Job, I believe, destroys that claim because Job was a person that was righteous before God, and God used all these terrible things to test him. You know, the speeches that we find from Job's friends, they don't really do anything to help Job. In fact, we see at the end of the book of Job where God rebukes his friends for their wrong thinking, and they have to give forgiveness from Job. And the best thing that his friends did was the very first thing they did all the way back in chapter 2 in verse 15, where they sat there in silence for 7 days with Job. And we see a reminder of this in today's reading in Job chapter 13 and verse 5. Job 13 verse 5 says, "If only you would shut up and let that be your wisdom." Job's saying, if only you would just sit there and listen. You know, we're all busy. And when people bring things to us, we want to be quick to speak. You know, if we're not careful, we can have our mouths moving about to talk over someone before they finish if we don't do that. And we are called to listen. You know, we're all busy, but we've got to listen. You know, even in the face of all that we see here, you know, in life, we have got to listen. You know, one of the things that we could do better with in life is not just with listening to one another, but in listening to God and to be silent before God to listen to him. And Solomon in Proverbs picks up on this point. In Proverbs 17:28, it says, even a fool is considered wise when he is silent. He is considered discerning when he seals his lips. So some of the best things we could do sometimes is just listen. Hope you'll join me again tomorrow.